Prosperity Recipes to get through 2020. And we're so excited because this is week 9. And we say session 9 is savor every moment. So this week we'll be savoring. And we have our special Speak It Out. And we all say, abundant blessings are showering me now. I shimmer with excitement. I am prosperous. We say this 100 times a day. That means 700 times a week. That's 7,000 repetitions in the 10 weeks that we do this. Why is this important? Because the more you repeat, the more you allow your every cell in your body to understand abundant blessings are showering me now. I shimmer with excitement. I am prosperous. Even if you just say, I am prosperous, you then begin to accept the reality of what our great financial guide has told us, and that is the Bible that says you are prosperous. The basic prosperity recipe is know what you want, believe you can have it, take action, give thanks and praise. And so I wrote that after I did the Women's Millionaire Club, because that's what I deduced from all these women that were millionaires. They had that recipe. And so let's review what we've already learned. We know that when we come together, we manifest quicker. Every single person in this group says the same thing every single time we have these classes. We manifest much faster when we come together because we're all sending out the vibration for each other. So it multiplies it. We say every little cell in my body is happy. And when you say that, we've got people that have had challenges with their health. And so we have to remind our bodies again and again, every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Feels so good, feels so swell. Every little cell is happy and well. If you sing that in the morning, just set your body free to know that it has the ability to heal itself. It has the ability to absolutely manifest vibrant health. And that's what we want for each and every one of you. So every little cell in my body is healthy and well. I love this. Our financial guide, the Bible says, fear not, little flock, for it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That is one of my favorites, Luke 12:32. And fear not, little flock, for it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Isn't that interesting that this would be the saying that I picked for tonight? Because we've had quite a few people when we were talking that had fear from things either not happening or we thought could happen. So fear not, little flock, for it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You are promised that. And the divine conscious I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is not its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. Therefore, I am totally confident in letting go and letting God appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and my affairs. So you have to believe the divine consciousness I am is expressing its true nature of abundance. Fear not, my little flock, for it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It is guaranteed for you. So I love this. Dear God, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for being there for me, never leaving me, and always loving me. Even in the toughest, and everybody has something, and I've had my fill of tough things that have happened in my life. But dear God, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for being there for me and never leaving me and always loving me. I love that. And if you pray, don't worry. And if you worry, why pray? Mary Moylan brought us that when we say namaste. So we've got to learn not to worry. In my family, cancer, especially breast cancer, ran rampant. My grandmother, my aunt, my mother, it was replete throughout my family. Until one time I kind of noticed, is that genetic? Or is it the way we learn to think and solve problems? And in my family, most of the women were great worriers. And once I made that connection, could it be the way that we think and worry? And once I made that connection, I made a decision right then and there. I refused to worry anymore. That was it. I would either take action and do what I needed to do, or I would release it. And I've been doing that ever since. And up to now, that has helped me dramatically. And once my mother got that, she stopped worrying because she was a huge worrier as well. So you have to make a decision. And that's why I love this saying so much. If you pray, don't worry. And if you worry, why pray? So I love that because it just lets it. And remember that prayer, energy follows attention. And so open your heart means to feel. Combine emotions merge with your thoughts to pray, acknowledges there are many possibilities. Praying focuses our feeling and directs our energies into an opportunity that we decide to experience. That's why I say, focus, focus, focus. Clarity brings easier and effortless manifestations. So you've got to focus your feelings and direct your energy into the opportunities that you want for you. And that means you've got to decide how you're going to experience all those possibilities that are available to you. None of us, if you ever looked at this, not one of us asks for the same thing every week. Every time we do this class, everybody wants something different. And that's because it belongs to you. That's what you have to attract. Abundance is everything around us. The food, the clothes, the shoes, the everything. We have got an abundance of everything. That's not our problem. Our challenge is prosperity, attracting it to us. And when you pray, when you're praying, you're focusing all your feeling and directing your attention onto the requests that you make. So that's why I need you to open your heart and do that every time. Because we know Albert Einstein, you cutie patootie, everything is energy and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency. I say this over and over and over again because I so believe it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. You don't think about what is happening outside, whether it's COVID and all of these things. You have to match the frequency of the reality you want. And that goes for all of us. Kathy said tonight, she was nervous, she was worried about her job. That's focusing on what she can see on this earth suit level. I want to rise you up into your energy suits so that you vibrate at the frequency of the reality you want. The reality she wants is a job that's steady, a job that's safe, a job that provides benefits, a job that gives her the hours she wants with the patients she wants to take care of in the way she wants to take care of them. So vibrate where you want to be, not where you are. And as long as you worry about where you are, the universe will keep sending you more of it because it's asked you. You get what you want when you are ready. So match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. This isn't philosophy. This isn't spirituality. This is physics. I love that. So vibrating at a higher frequency with your thoughts, your words, and your actions, because you know in your heart of hearts, all things are possible with God. That's why taking this course just reminds you, I'm not giving you anything you don't know. I'm just reminding you on a soul level where you are. Vibrate at the frequency of where you want to be, not where you are. Okay, so you'd see Deb would see her book completed. How would she feel with the end in mind? How would she feel once she has that book completely finished? It is done. It is wrapped. It is ready to go. She's sending it out to her friends. She's seeing it sold. That's what we do. Start with the end in mind. What do you want? That gives you the match of the frequency you want to vibrate at. And so And of course, we know I love Malachi because it always says, "Prove me now herewith, said the Lord of Lords. I will open you up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there shall not be room enough to receive it." I love this specific picture. And I do this in the shower all the time. Hold my arms out and see the water, pouring over me, because I say, I will open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there shall not be room enough to receive it. That's when we tithe. And so when you tithe, you thrive. And when you send money to where you feel like you've received your spiritual food, then you are tithing, and you do it freely and openly and honestly. We tithe to University of Unity of Tempe because that's where we started. And so it just feels good to open up those windows. There's two portions to this class. One is releasing, and that's ho'oponopono. That's how we Haole say it, or the Hawaiians say ho'oponopono. It's up to you. You can say it either way. It doesn't matter. Ho'o means to make. Pono means make it right for you and for the other person. So ho'oponopono means that we can make it right for ourselves and the other person. And to do that, it means that we must be aware of the beliefs that we hold in our system, because those are our blockages. And then we create a vacuum, means we make space, we release, we let go so that we can make space, which is that vacuum. And once we've got a vacuum and we've got the space we need, then and only then can you fill that vacuum with what you want, not what you've had in the past, not what you've just released. And so you must make a decision to fill your own vacuum with what you want now. What you wanted when you were a kid is not what you want right now. So the Ho'oponopono allows us to release at a soul level. Sometimes we'd even know some of the things we need to release. But when we do it this way, we can release at a soul level. Then we use the law of attraction. And what I've put it together to mean is know what you want, believe you can have it, take action, and give thanks and praise before it arrives on this physical plane. If you do it in that order, the universe has nothing to do but send you exactly what you want, because then you're matching the frequency of the reality you want. And that's the point. And our own Michelle Vundra says that when she's releasing, and this is why I asked you to take 15 minutes a day to just let go of something on the physical plane. Because if we can let go of something on the physical plane, then you have a greater possibility of letting go on the mental plane. And so by releasing piles, you create the vacuum. And so then you attract piles, and why not attract piles of gold? That's okay. And so filling the vacuum. So when you release, you create the vacuum. When you attract, you fill the vacuum. And so money, as we know, I've said it again and again, and I need everyone to hear this. Money vibrates at the meaning you set for it. If you vibrate negative meaning, it pushes money away from you. And if you vibrate a positive level on money, it attracts it to you. And when you say, I have no money, I have no money, I have no money, money does not come to you. It doesn't. Why would it want to come to you if you continue to say that? So you've got to release that. You say, I have the ability to attract money easily and effortlessly as I need and as I want. And so that's what you do with money. And be aware of what you're drinking in daily. You've got to pay attention to what you're listening to daily, what you're watching daily. And you've got to look at that kind of negativity. Are you spitting out words, thoughts, and actions that make you feel good? Or are you throwing up things that are not making you feel good? And so when you become aware of this, you change some of what you're doing and you make a decision. And you have to know what you want, number one. Once you know what you want, it's just like ordering up food. When you know what you want, my gosh, 9 times out of 10, the waitress or waiter will bring you exactly what you've asked for. Exactly what you've asked for. But if you say, I don't know what I want, she or he will say, I'll come back when you're ready. That's exactly what the universe does. It says, I'll come back when you're ready. That's why I say repeatedly, clear up what you're asking for. If you make it mushy, know what you want. Sometimes I know what I want, and sometimes I don't. Then you kind of get what you want. If you don't have a clue what you want, I guarantee you, you're not going to get it, because the universe, God, the great I am, cannot send you what you don't even know you want. And so you've got to be ready. And to be ready, that means you got to know what you want. And so decide what you want. The big word, decide. Once you decide, you get what you want. Until you decide, you're just going to get a mixture of sometimes yes, sometimes no. So, and how I love this converter is to know what you want. Okay, if you don't know what you want, then look at what you don't want, because what you don't want will tell you what you do want. You have to empty your old bags and say, for me, one of the things I didn't want, I hated living in an apartment. So I didn't want to do that. Some people love it. It wasn't for me. And so that told me I wanted to buy a house. And so once I know what I want, then I can make the plans to get to that. So you have to, clarity is the key to manifesting. Let me repeat that. Clarity is the key to manifesting. Let me repeat that. Clarity is the key to manifesting. You cannot get what you want if you don't know what that is. And so you're going to keep getting other things, because the universe will say, well, I don't know, she doesn't know what she wants, so let's send her this. Okay, that's not it. Let's send her this. Okay, that's not it. Let's send her this. So you get all this stuff, but until you get clear on what you want, you won't get it. And so get clear. As we say again and again, your job is to know what you want. God's job is to know how and send you the resources. Who could have done what Roz's boss did? She could say she wanted money, and all of a sudden she goes in and her boss says, well, I put you all in for a raise or a bonus. That's unheard of. MGM says, I want 20/20 vision, and all of a sudden I get the cataracts, and the cataracts gives me the opportunity to get new lenses put in, so I have 20/20 vision again. This cracks me up every time I think about it. So my job was to know what I want, and I said it very clearly. I'd like to have 20/20 vision again, that or something better. And sure enough, within that didn't even take really a month, I don't think. I think that was within weeks. Once I said it out loud, once I not only thought it, I said it, and then I acted upon it. So God's job is to know how. Step 2 of our recipe is believe you can have it. If you don't have a belief that you can have it, if you're not worthy enough, if you don't think you're enough, you won't get it. So when you're not getting what you want in life, I go back over this process and say, is it because am I not clear enough, know what I want? Or is it because I don't believe I should have it? And so I keep going back through the process to see what's holding up my good. Remember, beliefs are formed. Their experiences form thoughts. So we might have all had the same experience, but what happened to each of us determines what our thoughts were about that experience. And then we bundle those thoughts, and then we form our beliefs. Then our beliefs form our picture of reality. You can be in the same family, and yet you all might hold different beliefs about everything. And then once you have a belief that is formed, you always know it's a belief, because you start gathering information, gathering evidence to support your beliefs. And that's why people kind of get in their little tribes and look for people who believe the same way they do, so they can say, see, it's truth. And so remember that beliefs are the things that you can't see. Then come the thoughts of our mind senses and our feelings, and then they create all of these actions. So, and then your results. If you do not like your results, go back to your actions, go back to your feelings, thoughts, and always go back to the roots, which is your belief system. Your belief system will absolutely tell you every single time what caused those actions and your results to be the way they are. So I love this one because money is the root of all evil, the most misquoted verse in the Bible. And so in my senses, I heard it, I could see it, I could smell it, I could touch it. And so I got that money is the root of all evil from the nuns in Catholic school. They used to say it all the time. There were songs out about it. And I automatically decided to keep it, delete it, distort it, or generalize it. And I generalized it that all money must be evil. And if you think all money is evil, What are the chances you're going to attract it to you? It's not going to happen. You're going to repel it. That's why I continue to say money is the energy you put to that. So if I thought it was evil, do you think there was a great chance that I was going to attract it to me? And even if I did attract it to me, how long do you think how I got to hold on to that money? Not very long, because it just dissipated instantly. And so then my behaviors were, I gathered information to support my beliefs. I watched news stories that showed rich people that did Barry Madoff, these kind of stories that showed rich people always did mean, despicable things because money was evil. And there's no way that you're going to gather money and bring it to you easily and effortlessly if that's what you do. So you got to go back over that beliefs are learned. It just, you don't come popping out of your mama with these beliefs in your head. They're learned from a mixture of people in your life, and you get positive, negative, and neutral. And so once you get the pattern developed unconsciously, you've got to conscientiously, if you developed it unconsciously, guess what? You can make a decision to learn it differently. And so thoughts, words, and actions demonstrate your beliefs. And so beliefs are what you hold as certain truths, whether they are or not. So you've got to make that decision. That prosperous thinking is single energy, double energy is prosperous speaking, and triple energy is prosperous thinking, speaking, and actions. Once you get that in your head, then you can make a decision. Wait a minute, it always goes back to those beliefs, and those beliefs have got to be changed so that I will say different words and I will have different actions. Once you have different words and actions, everything changes. And so that's why we keep taking these courses, because you decide your prosperity. Nobody else does it for you. You do it for yourself. And you decide. Nobody can decide for you what's going to happen. So step 3 is, once you've made a decision of what you want, then you've looked at your beliefs and you've said, this one works, check. This one works, check. This one does not. Let's release it, bless it, and turn it loose on its way to wherever its highest good is. Release what you no longer works for you. It might have worked for you the first 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of your life. But if it's not working now, release it. Release it and let it go. Send it back to where it belongs, to its highest good, but make that decision. Now it's time for you to take actions for what you want. And so take action. So it means you learn by coming to these classes and forgive. We always say forgive. People get upset with that word. I can't forgive him. I can't forgive her for the what she did to me. Oh, please take 100% responsibility for your life. It has nothing, no blaming other people. Forgive means to just release and let go. Once you learn to release, your life changes, because you don't have to hold on to all of that stuff. Because once you blame other people, then you have to make them responsible. And if you can't get them to change, your life stays the same. Whereas if I release and forgive, and I take responsibility that I was doing the best I could with the skills and behaviors that I had at that moment in time, then now it's time for me to learn something different and put that into action. That's how this all works. So take inventory of your toxic beliefs, create that vacuum. Once you've let it go, which created the space, then you can fill the vacuum with what you want. It's just like the vision is the big picture model. When the cake maker told you, he showed you or she showed you a model of what it was going to look like, then you had an idea, a vision. And so the vision for me is, what do you want for vibrant health? How does that model look to you? Harmonious relation. What's your big picture model of your harmonious relations? What do they look like? We keep saying harmonious relationships, but you have to know, what does that look like? What is the model, the picture, the vision of what it looks like? What does that look like to you? It looks like to me that we're reciprocal. We have common interests, that we, you have to make that list. So it's on vibrant health, What kind of blood pressure do you want? What do you want to see in your life? How do you want to move? Do you want to take pills and medication the rest of your life? I've heard people tell me things like, well, when you get old, your body just keeps breaking down. Maybe for some people, but that's not my vision. That's not my model of what I want to see for my health. It's not. And so I want my health, my vibrant health, to mean I don't take medication. I don't have to take medication. I either drink the right drinks of cherry juice or whatever it is that's going to help me. I take the vitamins and minerals, and I eat the right food. That's more of the model that I want to use right up until, and you're seeing nowadays, we never heard of people being 90 and 100 years old. Now almost every day on the TV, there's another one that's 100, 101, 102, 103, 105. And so my model of vibrant health, you have to see it. My model of harmonious relationships, what does that, it's not just the physical of what it looks like. What does it look like emotionally and mentally and all those kinds of things? What does your job, career, or entrepreneurial experience, what does it look like? What's your model? I want to go to work happy every day. I want to smile. I want to work from home. I kind of like it. I've been working from home for years and I love to do that. I want to travel with my job. I want to see different places while I'm traveling. I want to visit friends. So you have to see what your model of that looks like. And what do your dream lifestyles look like? What kind of house does it look like? It's easy when it's a physical thing like a house or a car. It's more difficult for most people with emotional things. So make your model clear so you can visualize it and see it. Then the recipe is how to make those small actions to create that big picture, that model. What does my model of vibrant health look like? It means I don't want to take medications. I want to be able to move easily and effortlessly. I want to do it with feeling vibrant. And so I don't want pain, but I don't want to put that in there because if I say I don't want pain, guess what I'm going to get? Pain. So I don't say that. I want to be able to move easily and effortlessly. And so guess what? When I say that, now I can put the recipe. What would I do to make that happen? For me, it means that I try different things and the gyms are closed right now. So for me, it means walking 2 miles each day in the morning. I get up at 5 so that I can leave my house. With my AirPods and my phone, I can listen to Ho'oponopono every morning as I walk to the Greenway. And from my house to the Greenway, one back and forth of the Greenway with the lakes on either side, I can really changed my life because every day I'm Ho'oponopono and I listen to that as I walk along. And it's just marvelous. I love it. Now, when the gym's open, maybe I'll go back to the gym. But to tell you the truth, this new lifestyle that I've created is working great for me. So I might just keep it. But it was when I started with the big picture, my model of what is vibrant health. And then I could put the recipe together to create the small action steps and focus my energy on the in picture of what it would feel like to be vibrantly healthy. What would it feel like to have this kind of job or this dream area? So do you get that? That's how you put it together. And then you cook up the big picture. Fill the vacuum is taking actions. Take one small action. If you say, I'm going to drop 50 pounds, I guarantee that your brain will go, not going to happen. But if you say, for 30 days, I will walk 2 miles per day, and I will listen to Ho'oponopono when I walk. And so that is small actions. I will release and then make a decision, 2 pounds a week, 2 pounds a day, whatever small actions you want to say, and then you begin to do it. When you do that and make it in 30-day increments, like Dr. Willie suggested, we'll make it in 30-day increments, small actions that you can take immediately to fill your vacuum to get you what you want. Because the unconscious mind has the power to control all or most of your important life decisions. They're not even yours. They're stuff left over from another era. Become conscious. Decisions change your images of reality. So make a new image of reality. If in the past you had it in your head that your family has genetic predispositions to this, and this disease, wipe that out. Make a decision that that belongs to someone else. But now you can decide maybe it's not genetic. Maybe it is just the way I think. And if I change my thinking, I can change my life with the small actions, starting with my end result in mind. Then I can put together that big picture, and then I can put together the action steps that I need to get there. Remember that we all have stuff in our lives. Circumstances, everybody's got. It's not what the circumstances are, it's how we react to them. If we're below the line, we play the victim all the time. We blame, make excuses, and deny that we had any responsibility with this. As long as you blame other people, you cannot change your life, because you have to wait till they change before you can get what you want. Instead, we don't have results, we have reasons why we couldn't do what we wanted to do, and we relive our failures. You don't hear me talk very much about any of my failures now. I'll tell you about my successes over and over and over again, because I want more of them. If you want more successes, start talking about your successes. And so, to be above the line, you become the victor of your life. You own your own thoughts. You're accountable for your actions, and you're responsible for your results. Owner of your thoughts, accountable for your actions, and responsible for your results. I'm 100% responsible for my results. By doing that, I don't blame myself. I don't blame other people. I say, my gosh, I'm responsible. That means I can take action for results. You know, I can create the results I want by having the in picture in mind of the model that I want. And I relive my successes. The more I relive my successes, the more successes I will have. If I relive my failures, I'm going to get sour results every single time, and I'm going to whine and cry because I don't know how that happened to me again. Okay, I'm telling you how it happened to you again. Or you have sweet results, which are because you repeated your successes. We say, get out of bed, meaning blame, excuses, and deny. Grab yourself an oar, owner of your thoughts, accountable for your actions, and responsible for your results, to row yourself to prosperity. And so row yourself prosperous, vibrant health, harmonious relationships, meaningful life purpose, so that you know how you're going to give your gifts and talents to the world. And then you've got your dream lifestyle. That's being prosperous in life. So you must step up to the circumstances and rise above, be the victor, take action, and you decide. Nobody gets to decide but you about your prosperity. That's what I love. Once you take this course, you really get to take responsibility. You get to decide what your job is going to look like. And for people say, but MGM, you don't know, I work for a company and the boss, blah, blah, blah. I've heard it all. I have seen people I've been in horrible situations where they can't make me think a certain way. I get owner of my own thoughts, accountable for my actions, and responsible for my results. It might have been chaos all around me, but in my head, I'm having a great day. I tend to, just recently, since we're in the lockdown and I can't get out very much, sometimes I take these little imaginary vacations. And so I love to go to Hawaii. And so I have all of these, Hawaiian clothes, those sarongs that you put on and tie up. And I bought all those in Hawaii, and I rarely wore them except when I went to Hawaii. And now I wear them every other day, making myself on an imaginary trip to Hawaii. And I take off my shoes and I walk all through my house. It's just hysterical. So remember, a confused mind does nothing. A confused mind does nothing. When you make it so hard, or you don't know what your end result are, or you're confused and you're ambivalent about what you want in life, I guarantee you virtually do nothing. When we think it's overwhelming, we do nothing. When you say, I want to drop 50 pounds, personally, you tend to do nothing. But if you say, I want to release 2 pounds a week, that's much more bite-sized pieces that you can get to. So take action by making bite-sized small steps in alignment and harmony with your highest good, because we're better, stronger together, and take one small step at a time. The results you are experiencing are the results you created. That was, if there's one thing that was tough for me in the very beginning, it was that I must have had more trouble accepting this piece. The results you're experiencing are the results you created. So I had to change my thinking on that. And then the last step is give thanks and praise before it arrives on the physical plane. Don't wait. Well, I'll give thanks and praise when God sends it my way, or the universe, or I am sends it my way. Give thanks and praise for already receiving what it is you wanted in your life. God is your partner. So the universe says you are abundant and you handle abundance well. Therefore, here's some more. When you stay in that, I'm not good enough, that lack of thinking, the universe does not send you more because you're not abundant. But when you have abundance thinking and you absolutely understands that the Bible says, fear not, my little flock. It is a good pleasure to give you the kingdom. God wants to give you the kingdom. And so when you accept that you're abundant and that you have the ability to attract that prosperity into your life, you get more of it. Isn't that wonderful? So, and we release the pain because pain is like a wave. You can let it crush you or learn to ride with it. I'll be honest with you. The pain that I've experienced in the last year and a half, I guarantee you, if I told that story over and over again, I would believe, I can tell you, I can guarantee that almost everybody would give me a pass. I could become an alcoholic, a drug addict, whatever I wanted, because people would give me a pass. They'd say, wow, you've been through an awful lot. But what good is that going to do me? You have to understand, we all have something. Pain is going to come into your life at some time. And it's not that it's not going to come into your life. It's going to be, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to let it crush you? Or are you going to learn to ride with it? And for me, the decision was easy. I had to learn to ride with it, because we all have something. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you that makes the difference. And so you've got to thank God. I don't know why I've had these experiences in my life. I don't. And they haven't been easy, I'll be honest. They haven't. But I do know that if I wallow in them, I'll get more of them. And I certainly do not want that. And so you have to make that decision as well, whether it be the loss of a job, the loss of business, the loss of a spouse, the loss of whatever it is that you feel that you've lost. You have to thank God and decide to release and let go of that pain and let it move you into what is it that you want in your life. And so then you can start attracting that back again. Give thanks, because gratitude vibrates very high. Gratitude, science says that high frequency results from vibrational levels increasing. You want high frequencies. You want to vibrate at the frequency of everything you want in your life. So when you are grateful for the small pleasures, vibrational levels increase. Your outlook changes and opportunities open up. Let me repeat that. Vibrational levels increases and your outlook changes and opportunities open up. Gratitude opens up doors to abundance, and then you can attract what you want to prosperity. I am so grateful for the mother I had. She was so grateful for everything. You name it. My mother was singly the most grateful person I think I've ever met in my life. She was always under her breath. You could hear her all day long saying, Oh, thank you, dear Jesus. That was her favorite to say. Oh, thank you, dear Jesus. And, thank you for letting me be able to walk today. Thank you for letting me be able to stand up today. Thank you for letting me be able to sit down. She was thankful. I just remember hearing her express her gratitude constantly, all day long, every day. She never stopped. And I find myself saying, thank you, God, an awful lot. And I know it is definitely that early programming from my mother. And it was because she knew high frequencies results from vibrational levels increasing. And so, and I love this one, shoes in church. It's story time. So let's go through this one. It says, I showered and shaved. I adjusted my tie. I got there and sat in my pew just in time. Bowing my head in prayer as I closed my eyes, I saw the shoe of the man next to me, touching my own, and I sighed. With plenty of room on either side, I thought, why must our souls touch? It bothered me. His shoe is touching mine, but it didn't bother him much. Oh, a prayer began, Our Father. I thought, this man with the shoes has no pride. They're dusty, worn, and scratched. Even worse, they're holes on the side. Thank you for blessing, the prayer went on. The shoe man said a quiet amen. I tried to focus on the prayer, but my thoughts were on his shoes again. Aren't we supposed to look our best when walking through that door? Well, this certainly isn't it, I thought while glancing towards the floor. Then the prayer was ended. The songs of praise began. The shoe man was hardly loud. The shoe man was certainly loud, sounding proud as he sang. His voice lifted the rafters. His hands were raised high. The Lord could surely hear the shoe man's voice from the sky. It was time for the offering. What I threw him was steep. I watched as the shoe man reached into his pockets so deep. I saw what he was pulled out, what the shoe man put in. Then I heard a soft clink, as when silver hits tin. The sermon really bored me to tears, and that's no lie. It was the same for the shoe man. The tears fell from his eyes. At the end of the service, as in the custom here, we must greet new visitors and show them good cheer. But I felt moved somehow and wanted to meet the shoe man. So after the closing prayer, I reached over and shook his hand. He was old and his skin was dark. His hair was truly a mess. But I thanked him for coming and being our guest. He said, my name is Charlie. I'm glad to meet you, my friend. There were tears in his eyes, but he had a large, wide grin. Let me explain, he said, wiping tears from his eyes. I've been coming here for months, and you're the first to say hi. I know that my appearance is not like all the rest, but I really do try to always look my best. I am always clean and polish my shoes before my very long walk, but by the time I get here, they're dirty and dusty, like chalk. My heart filled with pain, and I swallowed to hide my tears as he continued to apologize for daring to sit so near. He said, when I get here, I know I must look a fright, but I thought if I could just touch you, then maybe our souls might unite. I was silent for a moment, knowing whatever was said would pale in comparison. I spoke from my heart, not my head. Oh, you touched me, I said. You taught me in part that the best of a man is what is found in his heart. The rest I thought the shoe man will never know, like just how thankful I really am that his dirty old shoe touched my soul. That always brings tears to my eyes. I always love that one. And we have to savor those moments when we have a heartfelt moment. And savor means the power to excite or interest. As a verb, it means to taste and enjoy it completely, but to excite or interest. Here was a man that tried his hardest, and yet the other guy had everything, and he didn't even savor one moment. Whereas the older Charlie, he savored every moment. And so it was interesting how that happened. Our job is to savor those moments and every single moment, because you never know. You never know. And so savor the moments. You will never have this moment again. And so whether it be a tender moment with someone you love, or even this morning, stopping to talk to the people that stopped me that I didn't know, you need to savor those moments. You will never have them again. And savor your precious moments. And how do you do that? Your tools of creation. You have to know that your thoughts that you think, these are the tools of your creation. You get to create in your life and decide what you will attract in, what you will release out to create the space you need. And you do this. How do you create? First, you think it up. You have to have the thoughts of what you want. Then you speak the words. The words you speak become the house you live in. Let me repeat that. The words you speak become the house you live in. If you love the house you're in, physically or emotionally, then you're thinking those thoughts that are going to bring you happiness and joy, and you're building that house that's going to make you happy. If you're not happy where you are, then you first have to go back to your thoughts. Change those thoughts, release the ones that no longer work for you. If you have a decision to be happy or not happy, that's the decision you make. I choose to be happy no matter what happens in my life. I have to make that choice for me. It makes me feel better. I get that there's an awful lot going on, and we all could be crazy every morning. It feels like chaos. But you have to choose how you're going to let your life unfold before you. I'm going to do what I need to do. And so instead of getting upset about things, I make calls to the Senate. I make calls to the House of Representatives every day. I make a call, and I'm kind, and I always ask our representatives, this is what I would like. If I'm worried, or not even worried, if I hear something that I don't like, the post office right now, if I hear something, then I call up my representatives and I'd say, here's what I'd like. As one of your representatives, one of your constituents, I would like you to please make sure that the post office is funding in a way that keeps it steady, because most of our seniors, and especially our armed forces, get all of their mail through the post office. It is not supposed to make money. It would be nice if it did. It is just supposed to be something that everybody in America gets, the post office. And so I call, because then my thoughts are aligned with the words that I speak and the actions that I take. So instead of sitting back and feeling frightful or fearful of what's happening on the world, you can make a decision to make. If you don't want to call, then write emails. If you don't want to write emails, then go on Facebook. I don't like Facebook. I mean, I don't, it's not whether I like it or not. I just don't use it. And so the way I should. But you have to make some decisions. So change those thoughts to make a decision that you're going to be happy. Even though things look chaotic, you can still find joy in certain things. Speak words that are going to inspire and lift people, so that you can take actions to help get them and to move them to what you want them to do. And so that's what we're going to do. So savor your precious moments and take a look at what you have. You have the tools. Everybody in this class has been given the tools. If you don't pick them up, that's on you. But you know how to do this. A pessimist is one who makes difficulties of his opportunities. And an optimist is one who makes opportunities of his difficulties. Harry S. Truman. And optimism, having a positive mindset. It doesn't mean that I don't realize what's real or see what's happening. It means that I make a choice. What can I do to make one small action, take one small step that will make me feel better and let me work with this easier? And so savor the moment. Everybody's got something, but you have to make that decision. Is it going to work for you, or what are you going to do to release the grief or to release the pain that you now experience, and that you add something else in? And so that's what you do. to savor the moment when things are going right. And even in times when there might be chaos or when it doesn't look as right as you want it to be, then make that decision that you always, always have a decision to make. You can have positive or negative. You can have happy over not happy. You make that decision. And once you see your big picture of what you want, I want vibrant health. And I'll be honest with you, if I'm fretting, if I'm worrying, if I feel like I'm in chaos all the time, I guarantee I'm not going to have vibrant health. I'm not. So it doesn't fit into my model. So what I have to do is I mark down the things that I can take action on. And even when it looks massive and I think I can't take an action, I can. I can call my representatives. I can email them. I can do what it takes. I can call other groups. I can combine with other people. I can take action. And once you take action, I guarantee you things look very different. So if you can learn from the worst times of your life, you'll be ready to go into the best times of your life. Let me repeat that. This was one of my mother's favorite sayings. If you can learn from the worst times of your life, you'll be ready to go into the best times of your life. My mama honored contrast. She was in pain so much of her life. And I'd always say, Mom, I feel so badly for you. And she said, oh, Maureen, don't worry, because it gives me such contrast. When I have a moment without pain, I'm so happy. That always amazed me that my mother could do that. But she always felt like because she was in pain so much of the time, those several moments when she had no pain, talk about savor the moments. My mother was incredible with that. Anything that hurts you can teach you. And if it keeps hurting you, it's because you haven't learned. Let me repeat that. Anything that hurts you can teach you. And if it keeps hurting you, it's because you haven't learned. So you have to make a decision. When things hurt you emotionally, you have to make a decision. What are you going to do? What are you going to think differently? What are you going to say differently? And what are you going to do differently? Create a different model so that you see the end results of what you really, really want. And so, the basic recipe to savor the moments of your life: quickly move forward out of limiting moments. So when you have a moment that doesn't work for you, look at it, see it for what it is. Maybe it was just there to give you a contrast of what you needed. If it hurt you, then it's contrast to give you no pain. Empty your negative bags. If you're still holding on to things that happened to you from childhood, from a marriage, from a friendship, from a family problem, empty your bags. If you think it is helping you to carry around all of that with you day in, day out, you are sadly mistaken. It is not. And you keep getting more of the same. When you empty out those bags and take a look at it and release them and let go and create space, which is create a vacuum, then and only then can you fill it with joyous people. I don't like to have negative people in my life anymore. I just don't. So I release them. I let them out as quickly as I can so that I can not fill up my bags with positive, happy, kind, loving people that are reciprocal. And once you start seeing that you have the opportunity to attract those kind of people into your life, you attract more of them. So neutralize your language. I'll be honest, this political situation that we have been in has been challenging. And I know that sometimes I just throw things at the TV almost because it's so aggravating. But you have to look at, I begin to neutralize my language. That was number one. I began to say, wait a minute, that's not working for me. Being upset is not working for me. And I have to neutralize my language. And I have to find steps that are going to make me happy. So when I hear things that I do not like, I then get on the phone and I call. Do you know that you can call the White House, you can call the Senate, you can call the House of Representatives. And do you know that every 10 calls that they get, they have to mark all that down. So the more people that call in to voice their opinion about things, I always do it in a kind, loving way, but they have to mark it down. So I am taking action, and I'm saying to you, if you are bothered by some of this stuff, take action, vote, do what you need to do to change the situation that you're in. And there's always something you can do, even if it is just to change a thought and to neutralize your language. Besides judging, and you neutralize it to this is what has happened, here's what I have to do to complete or to change it. So that's what helps. Fill your own vacuum. What do you want to see happen? What do you want? Fill your vacuum. Know what it is. Don't just whine and complain about the job, but the relationship, but the health. Make a decision. What's the model of the vibrant health you want? What is your blood pressure that you want? What is the movement that you want? What is what do you want this year, 10 years from now, 5 years from now? I do it on my health, on my relationships, on what I want for my job, everything, and the dream lifestyle. So then you create the life you want. Take the time, make the effort to savor those moments. And to really understand, when I say savor those moments, you've all had success in your life. Repeat those successes, even if you don't do it to other people because you say, well, that would make me blow my own horn. Then repeat it to yourself. Then let yourself know, I was able to accomplish this in the past. I know I can accomplish it now. Excuse me for a minute. I'm just going to blow my nose. Hold on. Excuse me. But take the time and make the effort to savor the moments so that you know what those successes feel like. You remember what they look like. You remember how it felt and what was the end result. And so you will get what you want when you stop making excuses of why you don't have it. Let me repeat that. You will get what you want when you stop making excuses of why you don't have it. Don't make excuses. Take responsibility. I think I let go of excuses. I just released them from my life because they just didn't work. And once I released excuses, I really became 100% responsible for my life. On a rare occasion, you'll hear me blame somebody, on a rare occasion. And once I catch myself as an old behavior, excuse me, then and only then can you make a decision to become aware and change it. So let go of the excuses. Just take responsibility. I'm going to take a drink of water. And so, let me put it to you this way. What would be the results and outcome of 20 positive people and 20 negative people that had the same circumstances? Let's say they all had the same job, the same boss, the same house. How would 20 people react that were positive, and how would the same 20 people react if they were negative? It's shocking to think this through, because negative people, results and outcomes would be, negative people usually decide, I can only be happy when I get my way. I can only be happy when I get my way. How many of you know people like that are only happy when they get their way? Or focus on problems and what ifs. That was Nick, the train guy. He focused on his problems and what if. Well, what if I did this and what if I did that and that kind of thing. And so negative people continually complain what they do not have. They complain that if they had this job didn't work for them. Excuse me. Or that job didn't work for them. They complain about what they do not have in their lives. They're never thankful for what they do have. They only complain about what they don't have. That's negativity. And so negative people want you to fix their problems and then complain when you do. And so protect your spirit from contamination. Limit your time with negative people. Let me say that again. Protect your spirit from contamination. Limit your time with negative people. And so the results and outcomes of 20 negative people are negative attitude. Negative people usually have negative thoughts, which create a negative attitude and a bit more. They mostly live in their human earth suits. Everything is somebody else. They blame, make excuses, and deny they have any responsibility for what happens to them in life. It's always someone else's fault. They use all their experiences as a badge of negativity. I believe that every time we've started this class, when we used to do it in physical activity, I mean, everybody would start in, well, I'm here because you should see all the things that have happened in my life. And then always somebody else would pipe up and say, well, if you think that's bad, you should have seen what happened in my life. And they would almost try to out negative each other. And they wear I'm unhappy shield for their whole wide lives. And they vibrate as a victim. I'm poor me, poor me. Everything always happens to me. A badge of negativity and my unhappy shield. We know people like this. Negative people begin to wear their discouragements, their negativity as a badge. Whereas positive people, same job, same boss, same results, they're different. They behave differently. They smile a lot. Look at this picture. They have a great attitude. No matter what's happening, they make a decision that they're going to have a good time with this. And a few human earth moments, but mostly they're living in their energy light self. They live in their energy light self. They neutral out the moments and find a way back to positive. Everybody's going to have something in their life, but when you make those moments everything in your life, then it turns your life into negativity. But if you make those moments just what it is, a moment in time, and you let it go, then you can find your way back to positive. And I guarantee you, there is so much more on the positive side than the negative side. I love this picture because positive results and outcome. Look at this fish. Focus on the possibilities, not the problems. What are the possibilities that we have before us? That's what I focus on. What am I grateful for? What they have. I am grateful that I have a house. I am grateful that I've got a car. I don't just have one car. I have two cars. It's only me. I have two cars. That shocks me every time I think about it. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful that I have running water. I'm thankful that I have electricity. I'm thankful that I have the money, that the electricity, the air conditioner broke down this week, and I had the ability to hire somebody and bring them in. It's still not fixed yet, but I'm sure it will be. And so I'm bloom where they are planted. They don't wait for everything positive to happen. They bloom where they're planted. Every time they are dropped into a new opportunity or situation or circumstance, they see it as an opportunity, not a circumstance. You have to make that decision. Do not postpone your happiness until the situation changes. Be happy right now. I have a lot of friends that are very, 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 very upset about what's happening in the political arena. And they're going to wait to be happy until everything changes. Well, you know what? We can be right happy right this very second. We have the ability to change things. We're one consciousness. My thoughts, my words, my actions affect all the people in my experience. And so rather than tell you everything that's wrong, I want to give you the possibilities of what we could do and what we can do. Positive people thank God for another day. Oh, thank God for another day. Negative people, oh God, it's another day. Same wording, different meaning. You make the decision. Nobody else can decide for you. I love this. Hang out with positive people. Don't you love that? I love that, those eggs looking at each other like that. So neutral out the moments in your life. If you can't find a way, create one. I love this picture. If you can't find a way, create one. Find a way back to positive. No matter what's happening in your life, I could possibly outdo everybody in negativity, things that have happened in your life within the last 12 months. I bet I've got it hands down. But you have to find a way back to positive. You just have to, because the only other way is negativity, and negativity begins to break down your body. Your cells begin to listen to those words, thoughts, and actions, and then it breaks you down physically because there's nothing else. Your body will break down physically. And I claim my vibrant health. And yet, if I don't find my way back to positive, I'm breaking it down without even being conscious of it. So you have to neutral out the moments and find your way back to positive. And that means whether you move more, you change your thoughts, you all come to classes like this, you ask for help from your prosperity partners. That's the way to find your way back to positive. Match the vibration you want. The universe is asking, show me your new vibration and I will show you miracles. That's what the universe is asking. Show me your new vibration, your new frequency, and I will show you miracles. That's what you're asking for. That's what you're asking for. So believe you know what you want. Believe you can have it. Take action and give thanks and praise. And see your life opening up to you. See the positive opening up to you. And here's Betty White. I love Betty White. And I'll tell you, my mother looks very much like Betty White and vice versa. And her own words of wisdom.
Our question of the day is, what's the best advice you've ever been given? Or what's the best advice you could give?
Not could give. I don't try to give advice. Gosh.
Has anyone ever given you something?
Yes. My mother was wonderful. And she started off when I was about this big. And she said, always try to look at the upside, not the downside. Look at the positive side of stuff and try to make it work. If you concentrate or if you start with the negative stuff, you're unhappy a lot of the time. But she said, if you're feeling blue or if you're feeling down, there's got to be something that's going right somewhere around you.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and it really,
It works.
Even in the down times, she always knows there's always something positive going on somewhere. And even if you just walk outside and see the sky or see a bird or, feel your cat or your dog or, play some music, instantaneously it will change. You have the ability to change just like that. And that's what I say to you now. Betty White says, I'm a big cockeyed optimist. My optimism runs eternal. I try to accentuate the positive as opposed to the negative. Hear that again. Accentuate the positive as opposed to the negative. There will always be both. You have to make that choice what you're going to bring in. It's terribly important to look forward to another day, a new day to be excited about. Sure, sometimes you don't feel like it. We all have our problems, but do your best to look through them. And I've always liked that about Betty White. And so we say to you, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred or changed. Change negative energy into positive energy and transfer positive energy to everyone you come in contact with. Shower them with abundant blessings. The more you shower others with abundant blessings, the more you can shower yourself with the same. And I believe in you. It just takes one person to believe in you to change the trajectory of your life. We are better, stronger together because we decided that we are in alignment. We're in alignment with each other's harmony and best interests. We want Miles to have a great show this week. We want every single one of you to do what it is you want. Whether you want to have eye surgery or whatever is going on in your life, we want to see it the way you're asking for it. So we're in alignment and we're all asking for the same things for each other, which is wonderful. I love that. And there's my mother again. She was just gorgeous. And I truly know that her energy was so positive all the time. And even in pain, I can remember even as a child, I never heard my mother. She might cry softly every once in a while because she was in so much pain, but she never was negative about it. She always felt like, when she had those few moments that she was pain-free, She was so ecstatic, and it was just interesting to watch her like that. So you have to remember that power of force. Force relies on authority, whereas power is your ability to attract and magnetize and draw things in. I guarantee you, when you use your positive, it works so much better. So when you vibrate high, we know that we had Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi, and they were up here vibrating not down in shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride, but they went up into, look at neutrality is even at 250. And so love is up here further, and then joy, peace, and enlightenment. So when we get to those times of joy, peace, and enlightenment, those are the moments that you're willing to say, and you always have a choice. People say to me, but MGM, you don't understand. I do understand. Trust me, I understand. But it is always a choice. Mother Teresa chose to leave an affluent lifestyle and go be with the toughest population on the planet. And yet, look at, she was smiling. She had joy in her heart. And the same thing for Mahatma Gandhi. So what I'm asking is, you make that decision to vibrate higher. Vibrate at the frequency of where you want to be. Vibrating at a higher level, you decide what you want. Once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make that happen for you. Decide what you want. And so gratitude is the open door to abundance. When you become grateful for small pleasures, your outlook changes and opportunities seem to open up everywhere in your life. When you're small and when you're grateful for the small opportunities, you get more. I will open up those windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there shall not be room enough to receive it, said Malachi. And so we end by always telling you to go practice this in your abundance kitchen. And so practice being vibrantly healthy. What does that look like to you? What's your model of that? What are harmonious relationships look like for you? How are you going to give your gifts and talents to the world? And what's your dream lifestyle look like? Cook up your own prosperity. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Abundance Banquet Hall. It's now time to build your imagination muscles and expand your prosperity consciousness. As you settle into your seat, prepare to have a delectable evening. As we say in New Orleans, let the good times roll. So please now uncross your legs, your arms, and your hands. Gently close your eyes and take a deep breath of prosperity. Release anything that is holding you back from attracting your promised prosperity. I want you to vividly imagine entering an exquisite abundance banquet hall. Your very own personal prosperity maitre d' greets you warmly by saying your name as he welcomes you. Notice his enthusiasm. He is genuinely excited to see you sit at his table. He radiates kindness and can hardly contain his joy. He seats you at an elegant place setting of fine china, glistening silverware, crisp white linen tablecloths, and a centerpiece that's spectacular and obviously your favorite. He lovingly explains, "For your prosperity pleasure, we have created the largest and most delectable prosperity banquet table you have ever seen. Everything and anything you have ever wanted to create your dream lifestyle is on this buffet table for your pleasure. You and you alone will decide your prosperity." Now let me introduce you to our delectable dishes this evening. Your prosperity buffet table has covered dishes, and as you lift the cover off each dish, you'll see items that were specifically designed just for your enjoyment. As you uncover the first dish, I want you to vividly imagine your vibrant, healthy body. This vibrant, healthy body was prepared specifically for you. It's your ideal weight. It's your ideal blood pressure. It's your ideal pain-free, disease-free body. Your ideal body can run, jump, move, walk, sit, and stand easily and effortlessly. And since this is your ideal body of your dreams, you may discard anything you may not desire. Anything that you say might be genetic or doesn't belong to you now, you can discard it. You may add anything you desire. You and you alone get to decide your ideal body. Take a moment to vividly visualize your ideal body. As we now move down the buffet table, as you uncover the next dish, I want you to vividly imagine your ideal, harmonious relationship or relationships. This ideal relationship was prepared specifically for you. It's your perfect partner. Outwardly, this partner looks pleasing to you, and inwardly, this partner looks pleasing to you. And since this is your ideal relationship of your dreams, you may now discard anything you don't desire. You can also add anything that you do desire for your perfect ideal relationship. You may add as many harmonious relationships as you wish, both personal and business. You get to decide your ideal relationships. You and you alone decide your prosperity relationships. So please take a moment to vividly visualize your ideal relationship or relationships. Oh my. As we move down your prosperity buffet table, the next dish I want you to imagine is your ideal way to give your gifts and talents to the world. This is your pleasurable purpose. How and what and where do you want to deliver your gifts and talents to the world? Because it was prepared specifically for you, and you get to choose. It is your ideal job, your ideal career, or your ideal entrepreneurial experience. It's the perfect way that you decide how you wish to give your gifts and talents to the world and to others. See before you right now your ideal way to give your gifts and talents to the world. Oh my goodness, and once again, we move down your prosperity buffet table. And since you can know that you have the ability to discard anything you do not desire and keep anything that you do desire. You can add it at any time. Yummalicious, our last dish to uncover, is your ideal treasures, your ideal dream lifestyle. This is the money you want to see in your bank accounts and your investments, the possessions you wish to have, the car you wish to drive, the house you like to live in, the lifestyle you wish. You would like to have a yacht. You would like to have a house at the lake, a house at the mountains, whatever is your dream lifestyle, or you would like to live off the grid. It's all up to you. You and you alone get to decide because these dishes were prepared specifically for you. It's your ideal house, your ideal car, your ideal bank account and lifestyle. Oh, it's so sweet. You may discard anything that you have in your life now that you choose not to keep, and you may add anything that you desire. You get to imagine it. So decide how and what your dream treasures and lifestyles look like right now. Take a moment to vividly visualize your dream lifestyle. Once again, this is your prosperity buffet table. Please know each and every dream dish was designed specifically for you. You're invited to test out dishes that might be unfamiliar to you. At any time, you can always discard what you don't desire in your life, and you can always add what you do desire. You decide your prosperity. You see, as an adult, you do not have to take anything into your life that you do not desire. You and you alone decide your prosperity. And each week, you can choose different things. Each week, you can vividly imagine different things. If you chose something and decided, I just wanted to try it, but it didn't fit for me, you can discard it at any time. At any time, someone else says something that you say, wow, I didn't think about that. I'd like that to add that to my prosperity. I'd like to add that to my vibrant health, to my harmonious relationships, to the way that I give my gifts and talents to the world, and the dream lifestyle, a sweet lifestyle I choose to have. The prosperity items on the table are always prepared specifically for you and you alone decide your prosperity. In your imagination, go back to the table as many times as you wish. And now, when you are ready, please get up and go back in your imagination to get anything else that you desire that makes you happy from your delectable prosperity buffet table. Your prosperity is always a do-it-yourself process, just like life. You and you alone always get to decide your own prosperity. Bon appetit. Vividly imagine it now. And now I'd like you to take a deep breath. Take a nice big yawn. Take a nice big stretch. Gently open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and your toes, and come back to your room. Every time you imagine and vividly visualize your Abundance Banquet Hall and your Prosperity Buffet table, you build your imagination muscles to attract the prosperity you desire in your life. You and you alone decide your prosperity. It's always a do-it-yourself process. Let the Abundance Banquet Hall, you have to know that you have to get up and go get whatever you want when you are ready and have told the universe exactly what you want. No one is going to bring you prosperity. You have to get up and go get it yourself. You can get up at any time. You can visualize at any time your own Abundance Banquet Hall filled with your prosperity buffet table. Discard all items you do not wish to keep. Add anything you do wish to keep, and know that you can go back as many times as you wish. Once again, bon appetit for your prosperity.